Okay, so clan called Tal versus clan called TFO. What is that? Classified documents. You get classified documents now in clan battles? Jesus. Okay, so first thing, you should immediately be full speed before the timer even started. Now, I don't know, is it your PC being slower, or you were busy doing something, you were late, or doing whatever, but in competitive, you want to be as fast as possible to the location that you're going. So I guess tip number one would be make sure you're ready to go full blast as soon as the game is ready. Tip number two, if you know that you're going to be entering a cap and meeting your first enemy, well, it doesn't really matter if you enter the cap, but if you're going to be, if you know you're going to meet the enemy somewhere on your right side, immediately turn your guns on the right side. Maybe even lock them on the right side. What I like to do is I like to lock them like either 90 degrees angle or a bit like this. Because when you meet someone, you're almost never going to stay bow in. You're always going to turn sideways, maybe even try to run away, especially in a Shima. So you have your guns, as you start turning, your guns are ready. You unlock them, yeah, like that. Like, for example, this would be the angle that I would have them locked. Also, if you want to go somewhere early with a Shima, using a speed boost would probably be preferable. Okay, tip number 4, the way that you just fired your torpedoes, do it in the opposite way. I can't pause, unfortunately, but you fired 1, 2, 3, and you're turning left. Fire them 3, 2, 1. Why? Because if your destroyer is turning left, you can fire your torpedoes doop, 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 like boop, 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 almost in a very fluid succession because you're moving left. So you're firing them from right to left. If you're moving right, fire them from left to right. So you're moving your torpedoes in the same direction, your torpedo tubes in the same direction as your ship. You can get them out quicker and more fluid. And more with less dispersion between each volley, for example. That's how I do it. It takes a little bit of practice, but you know, if you go in your random battles, you'll be able to do it. So I didn't even pay attention to what we have here. Vermont, Puerto Rico, 2 Salems, Venezia, Shima, Holland. I presume it's only 1 battleship allowed. Okay, this turn you're doing right now is a bit dangerous. Although I was busy talking about things, I didn't really pay attention. Did that Shima fire all 15 torpedoes? I very much doubt that Shima is still in that smoke screen, but the RPF is pointing there. Okay. See, what you're doing right now is if Brisbane is within like 11 and a half, 12 kilometers of you, he would spot you and you could potentially get clapped by Moscow, Brisbane, and Kremlin for just trying to blind fire a little bit. Even if you hit the guy, you're not going to do a lot of damage. And even if they don't get you spotted, you're still giving up your position. So they know exactly where you are because you're just shooting. They can see it. Yeah, that Shima just went back in. He's going to take the cap now. See, that Salem radaring right now, I don't know if there's much point to it. Okay, apparently he could shoot it. I was about to say, like, I don't know what the point was for him radaring when the cap is already taken and nobody has an angle to shoot. But, sure. Damn, you really like to switch speed very, very slowly. Clink, 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 clink. So we got Holland and Puerto Rico on the far right, Salem in the bays. Okay, I'm not an expert because I don't play clan battles for years now. So again, this is also very risky. You're entering that Moskwa's radar range with your back against the wall. Like, you can't turn away from them. You can only go towards them. Now, I don't know if you know that maybe he doesn't have any radar left. I would have thrown the third volley in between the first two. That way, if Moskwa continues going like this, she's going to run into your torps. If Kremlin turns, which he is, he could run into your torps. You just cover more area. As a destroyer, you usually want to cover the area and not actually go for, like, dev strikes. But yeah, so I'm contemplating, like, why Salem, for example. That's a lull and a half. That's a lull and a half. Okay. You going out again in front of Moskwa, pushing Kremlin, and a Shima there. Like, if that Shima did not get torpedoed, you'd be dead now. Well, this angle is gone. Aim a little bit, yeah, a little bit higher like that. So, I don't know, maybe that Salem position would be better with Stalingrad or Moskwa or, I don't know, Petro. But again, I don't know, I'm not really an expert in clan battles. I haven't played them in forever. Metas change all the time. Like, for example, Salem here is probably okay because he's got radar range, but this Salem, his radar range doesn't really do much. And his short shells and short range doesn't help much either. Vermont is in a really weird position right now. I presume Venezia is going back instead of chasing to... Oh, that's brave of you. That Kremlin has got nothing better to shoot right now than you anyway because of that island, I think. Although he's trying to get the angle on Vermont, I see. He's probably loaded with AP, so he wouldn't one-tap you, but he could do some serious damage to you if you wanted. Luckily for you, he's focusing other things, so you're getting away with some free damage and fires. There's also one very important thing to note. As much as I can respect destroyers, especially torpedo destroyers, using their guns when they think they can get away with it. You also have to keep in mind, if you're spotted, they don't have to guess if torpedoes are coming. They don't have to guess where you are. When you're not spotted, they constantly fear, holy shit, he could be anywhere by now. Also, I was like half a minute or a minute ago, I said that Vermont's position is very weird. And I'm looking at Kremlin on his left. I'm looking at Brisbane. If that Brisbane or / Brisbane decides to go for him, how You know, all he needs to do is wait for Vermont to fire, and then he can YOLO him and torp him, which is exactly what happens. Salem is an anchor right now, really doing nothing. See, for example, right now, Napoli cannot support Shima. Your Holland could turn around and attack Shima. Now, the problem for Holland is that Holland does not get better concealment than Shima, doesn't get hydro or radar or smoke. So that's a little bit problematic. But that makes me wonder why Holland to begin with, why not Småland, for example. Are carriers allowed in current clan battles? I have no idea. Isn't Shima the prime example for... Fuck, where's that little fucker and when do his torps reload? Well, yeah. No CVs and no hybrids. Yeah, then why Holland? I would rather go Småland. Their detection is very similar, if I'm not mistaken. And Småland gets better DPS. A bit less torpedoes, but still fast. And you get a radar. Because that Holland is very zoned out right now. I'd love to actually switch there to see what's happening. But that Salem position, to me, like, I could be wrong. You would need to ask that player, did he felt useful that match? Because that ship in that position did not seem very useful to me. I don't know how much Holland managed to do there. If that Holland was Småland, for example, that could have been very different. If that Holland was daring, you could attack Shima no problem because you have a hydro. So you would not lose the border of the map on the right side, for example. Because you guys kept left, but the other side collapsed. You also spent the previous like 5-6 minutes trying to gun down a Kremlin. You would have been probably a lot more useful in the middle right now instead of shooting your guns and not have your positions known at pretty much all times. I'm not saying you played bad, but you could have probably get a lot more value out of your ship. Also, look what Kremlin did to you in 5 seconds. Now think how many times he had the opportunity to do that to you and he chose not to. Next time you try to use your guns against a battleship that needs 5 seconds to turn his guns and fuck you up. Like that. Because Kremlin turns his turrets unrealistically quick. So now you're going for B, but by the time you get B, this might be, it might be too little, too late. And don't get me wrong, I've done games like this plenty of times, where I won my flank, and now I'm forced to kind of circle around this ship, but my team is losing. So for example, maybe instead of chasing Kremlin like this, switch sides, stop using your guns and go towards the middle. Of course, your Vermont should have never been there to begin with, in my opinion. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't know the flow of clan battles at the time. Metas change all the time, and I'm a bit rusty. And a bit is an understatement. But that Vermont definitely needed support against Brisbane. And then you take out Brisbane and they're out of radars on that side. I mean, not everyone has Småland, but yeah, Holland is weird. I mean, yeah, they were actually pretty close to winning this. I didn't see how many points they had. I looked away for a second. Did someone in chat notice? Like, what was the last ship that died? A cruiser? That's like 40 points? Must have been like 980 or so. when that guy died. So yeah, it was close. It was close. But I still think... And yeah, we don't get to see the experience. Like, for example, Vermont looked like he YOLO'd without proper support. Salem didn't look to be very useful. Holland didn't look to be very useful. And I did not pay attention to Puerto Rico or Venezia after the first couple of minutes, so I don't know how much they actually did. You did okay, but to be fairly honest, you got lucky with that torpedo hit. Now, luck can be all you need sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to undermine anything you guys did here. Based on the color, this looks to me like it's Storm League. Is it called Storm? The second? No, you have... Oh, God, what do you have? You have, like, Squall. It's Gale. Isn't it Squall, Gale, Storm, and then something, and then Hurricane? Or Hurricane and then something? God, I forgot. I haven't played in forever. 992 to 1,000 was the end. Before it ended, you mean? Typhoon. Yeah, is it Typhoon and then Hurricane? Or Hurricane, then Typhoon. Doesn't matter. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I was to switch perspectives and check other people's chip and go in a little bit more detail, I could give you a better heads up. But I feel like at least half of you could have been more useful. And maybe slightly different ship composition. Again, if I remember correctly, in clan battles, you don't really get a choice to choose the map that you play on. So you got to find a composition that works, that's kind of jack of all trades, that's the strongest on as many different maps as you can. Of course, and I was acting on the fact that you came for this particular map. Yeah, so what was that? There was like Salem is one raid. Yeah, 2 Salems and a Puerto. I don't know, maybe 1 Salem out for something with 12-kilometer bow tanking capability. I don't know. Squall, Gale, Storm, Typhoon, and Hurricane. Okay, so you said this is Gale. Yeah, this is still relatively low league. Like, until you reach Typhoon. Typhoon and Hurricane is where the really good plays and good clans used to be. I don't know how it is now. Storm, you start seeing actual skill. Usually stuff below is a lot worse. It's a lot less organized. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that there was any catastrophic. Well, nothing catastrophic really happened for you, although it could have. It could have at multiple occasions. So I don't really know what you were hoping, you and maybe your clan were hoping to get out of my commentary. I just gave you a couple of personal tips and potentially a couple of clan tips. I hope they are of any use to you. Like I said, I'm very rusty. I haven't played clan battles in a very, very long time. And the last couple of occasions when I did was very far in between the games. So, yeah, there you go. Watch again. No, shit, I didn't mean to click watch again. Lol.